What is going on, guys? This is Miasin, and welcome to my Blue Eyes deck profile while featuring Bystial cards. I don't know if that matters too much. I guess it does, but yeah, this deck is so freaking fun, man. You can finally play hand traps in Blue Eyes and not brick because you're not playing like 7 effect veilers with like 10 Ash that really do nothing for you. These Bystials actually help you out. And they're dragon, they're level 6s, like everything that you asked for, here you go, like on a silver platter. So yeah, this deck is very fun, very actually competitively viable, shockingly enough, for like locals and regionals level. I could actually like bring this deck and not do bad for once. So yeah, it's probably the best Blue Eyes has ever been in several years, and I really appreciate that. So anyways, today I'll show you guys this deck profile in details, explaining pretty much every ratio. But before we proceed, friendly reminder to smash the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys, and now let's get right into it. Alrighty, so for the Blue Eyes monsters, yes, I know I just put the Chaos Emperor Dragon Armageddon here because it is not a Blue Eyes. So I'm playing 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon with 1 alternative and 1 Jet. So Blue Eyes is not really like, even though it's like the heart and soul in theory, it's not really a card that you're desperately trying to draw in your opening hand. It's not gonna allow you to do that much, so 2 copies should be way more than enough. If you draw like 3, then you're pretty much screwed. Like, this is not the anime where like the win condition is activate poly, fuse 3 Blue Eyes from the hand, and then summon Blue Eyes Ultimate, and then attack, and then go defusion, summon triple Blue Eyes. Hell no. Anyways, 1 Blue Eyes alternative. Again, it's very bricky if you draw like too many copies, or if you draw this with no Blue Eyes. So 1 should be enough, and it's easily searchable with like Melody, so that's fine. And finally, 1 Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, which is actually not too bad. It's probably one of the better Blue Eyes because unlike the other cards, it actually does something in the graveyard, and it actually kind of allows you to break boards. It also protects a bunch of your cards from being, destroyed by card effects and stuff like that. So I just love this card, honestly. It's just like nice recursion, and it's easy to summon, of course, with White Stone of Ancients, which is easy to access thanks to Hieratic Seal when you tribute over it, or like Hieratic Dragon King of Atom, easily accessing it, or Sage with Eyes of Blue, searching it and then discarding it with Chaos Space, or Melody of Awakening Dragon. But still, even though it's a good card, 1 copy should still be way more than enough. And finally, 1 Chaos Emperor Dragon of Armageddon, as well as 1 Levineer, so the final Melody of Awakening Dragon targets. Chaos Emperor is a very insane card, so you can recycle back your banished dragons. Pretty much every card in your deck except like Tyrant of Deep. And you can recycle back your banished Bystials, so it makes the card even better. And in the extra deck, it's basically like a BLS, so that's also very nice. Just overall extremely good card, but it is once per turn, so again, if you play too many copies, then you're just gonna start breaking, because you can only really summon this when you have like lights and darks in your grave, and you can only use like the skill effect of the pendulum effect if you have a dragon in the banished. So it's not really a starter, rather an extender. Similar logic with Levineer, you can only really summon this when you have a bunch of cards in the graveyard already, so don't expect to draw like 3 Levineers. Well, if you play 3 Levineers and then do something with them, unless like the 2 other cards are like insane cards. And that's another reason why all these ratios are like very carefully thought out. Now for the ratios that I really don't care, because they're all like really good cards, but some of them are better than others. Triple Lubalion and Triple Magnamut are the 2 Bystials that I'm playing in 3. So Magnamut, of course, having an effect to search on the end phase is just always really good. So that's always a necessary 3 of. And Lubalion is insane because on your own turn, not a quick effect, you can discard it to search any Bystial monster. And also, it has a nice summoning condition that is not an effect, by the way, so you can still do it under Dweller. In the hand or graveyard, you can send a level 6 or higher Dark Dragon monster you control to the grave, which can even be Levineer. It doesn't have to be a Bystial, in order to revive it back. And then on the field, you can place 1 branded continuous spell or trap from your deck into the face-up spell and trap zone once per turn. And Saronier actually combos very well with this card, so you can go Saronier send this, or Saronier send the Regained, and then end phase Branded Beast is going to be reactivating the Regain from the graveyard into the spell and trap zone in order to give you even more cards. And then for the other Bystials, I mean, Druid Worm is very good because whenever it is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send a special summon monster upon controls to the grave. So very nice interruption on top of like everything else that your deck is doing. And finally, Baldrake, which is Insanity. I mean, if you don't know what this card does, oh man, but it's another one of those DD Crow monsters. And whenever your opponent summons a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monsters, you can tribute 1 other light or dark, again, doesn't have to be a Bystial, and then banish 1 of the monsters that your opponent summoned. It's just so good, man. And then finally, the Baby Dragon, so Chaos Dragon, oh my god, Black Dragon Collapse Serpent and White Dragon Wyvern Burster. I always get their names mixed up with like something that has nothing to do with them. And 1 Safer, another good card that you can summon off of Hieratic Dragon King of Atom. And then you can send the Blue Eyes from the hand to search Levineer, and also use the graveyard effect of Safer, so banish it, and recycle back Levineer or Chaos Emperor or Lubalion or anything from the graveyard to the hand. And for the other cards, so the small monsters, finally, because I'm playing a lot of big monsters, 3 Tyrant of D is pretty much like a Magician's Souls for Blue Eyes, but a little worse because it doesn't really draw you cards. And if you want to revive back a Blue Eyes, you have to discard a card. So not super optimal. And also you have to discard a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a card that mentions it in order to revive back a Blue Eyes. So it's a little unfortunate, but at least you get to revive back any Blue Eyes monster in your grave, including the Blue Eyes Jet, which is very neat in certain situations. But anyways, 1 White Stone of Ancients, 1 Stone of Legend, and then 3 Sage with Eyes of Blue. These cards are very bricky if you play way too many, and Sage at least is like a +1 on the normal summon, so that's the only real normal summon that you play, as well as these cards, I guess. And I really didn't feel like I had to play like Effect Veiler anymore. It's usually unnecessary, and I rarely found myself searching Veiler with Sage, honestly. It almost never happened. Alright, anyways, for the spell cards, this deck is literally known to play like some of the nastiest spell cards out there. So Melody of Awakening Dragon is extremely broken, can search you really powerful cards, so Levineer, which is here, Chaos Emperor, as well as Alternative and Blue Eyes. Very nice card. And also discarding a card can help you out, which is funny. Chaos Space, same concept in a way, but this time you're searching a light or dark that is the opposite attribute of whichever light or dark monster you're sending from the hand to the grave. And that monster cannot be like normal summoned, the one that you're searching. So it has to be like one of those boss monsters. So Alternative, Chaos Emperor Dragon of Armageddon, Levineer, Lubellion, or Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, or White Dragon Wyver Burster. And finally, the Regained and Branded Beast. I'm not going to bother explaining what these cards do because you can just Google search them, but they're very good cards. So the Regained is like a Monster Reborn and a way to draw cards, and the Branded Beast is a way to pop cards your opponent controls, and on the end phase, it gets back the Regained if it is in the graveyard, which again is easy to get in the graveyard because of Saronir. Now for the extra deck, I'm playing Shen Shen. Again, it's pretty much like a Dark Law on the field, but only for the monsters on the field. Well, monster spells and traps, so it might not be the best against certain kind of decks. But at least it's a generic level 9 synchro. Unlike these two monsters, because you actually need specific cards to make Blue Eye Spirit as well as the Azure Eyes. And then the Black Rose Moonlight is the monster that I'm summoning off of the Spirit as an interruption, because it bounces back a special summon monster my opponent controls to the hand. And finally, for the Xyz monsters, this is not a finally because the majority of monsters are links. Zeus, Harbinger, Din Girsu, as well as Hieratic Dragon King of Atum. So Hieratic Dragon King of Atum is basically like Guard Dragon LP, and then Din Girsu is like insane. You can clear cards without targeting and without destroying. It's just a really nice mechanic. Harbinger is also insane, big spell negate, and also redirects attacks. So when you have like Harbinger and Seal, it becomes like very hard to break because your opponent can't just like normal summon a garbage monster and then attack over the Seal. You can just redirect the attack to the Harbinger, and then your opponent still has to worry about the Seal. And then Zeus is here for obvious reasons, and for the Link monsters, Appaloosa, Unicorn, Dark, Masquerena, double Hieratic Seal because the second one does come up. Sometimes you tribute summon on top of the first one, and then you link off into a second one. So it really does come up, don't sleep on that. And finally, the One Striker Dragon to link off your Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, or White Dragon Wyver Burster so that you can go into a Hieratic Seal right away. Now, for the idea section, Dragon Spirit of White if you want to, but I don't think it's really needed. The Strudo so that you can make level 7 synchro monsters such as F.A. Don Dragster, but again, not really needed. Bystial Baldrake if you want to play like a third copy because it's actually a really broken one. Effect Veiler that you can search off of Sage. These cards are really nice, so Hardware the Dragon as well as Dragolubion and Newmount Dragon with like maybe Galaxy Eye Cipher, but that's not really needed. And you can't even summon this off of the Dragolubion anyways. It's not a number monster, but there is another number monster that you can summon that is like a Galaxy, which is not too bad. I think the Tachyon is not too bad, but you're usually not really trying to go for these kind of cards. And now Return of the Dragon Lords is a monster reborn, but you don't really need these kind of cards either because they're not starters, they're only extenders, and you want to unbrick in this deck as soon as you possibly can. That's the reason why I'm not playing Cards of Consonance and Trade-In. These cards would not help me out because I can only use them when I have, you know, the activation requirement legal and met. If I don't have like a, you know, a level 8 monster for Trade-In, the Trade-In is a neg 1 in my hand, whereas Spot of Prosperity, I can always activate it and do something with it. So I want cards that are proactive, that don't really rely on the other cards too much in order to get my engine started as early as possible. Now, these two cards, I tried messing around with them, but they didn't really work out too much in Blue Eyes, so even though they're new cards and I really wish I could have made a combo video on these cards, they're not great in this kind of deck. And finally, Apparition with Vision with Eyes of Blue, sorry, they renamed the card. 7 limit skill drain for post game 1 in case you want to like go first or something. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.